There's a lot of researchers posting videos about the mud flood in Tartary and the ancient giants that helped build these huge structures that exist or existed prior to colonization. And interesting theory. Um, yes, I believe there were very tall people. There are still tall people today, 7, 8. We got basketball players 7 feet plus. Some villages in Africa and in Greenland, Iceland, wherever. People, you know, groups of people related who are 7, 8 foot tall. Um, and yes, there could have been a time where there were people 9 feet tall. Some say even 30 foot tall. I don't know about that, but possibly. But they're citing these images of these giant structures with these large archways and doorways and the like, and saying that why would they need to be so tall if it wasn't for giants? I have another. Well, I have an answer for that. Besides the giant theory, um, which not disowning it, discounting it, but I would just like to add something that is pretty obvious, and I think that people need to be thinking about. Um, well, I just bought this book. This book is called The Arabic Islamic Cities Building and Planning Principles. I have a few books on the topic of the urbanization of Islamic urbanization and the laws and planning codes and so on. And as soon as I picked up this book, I opened it up, and right there, the answer was staring me right in the face. And I wanted to share it. It only reinforced what the thoughts that came to my mind as I'm listening to quite a few people were saying this theory, passing on this theory of the giants uh, being the reason why these archways were so tall. But looking at this book here, and just to show you what kind of book it is. Chapter 1, Islamic Law and Neighborhood Building Guidelines, Principles and Behavior Guidelines, uh, Design Language, Urban and Architectural Elements, Interpretation, Chapter 3 of the Building Process and Urban Forms. All right, so this is what you call a town hall urban planning development book, right? Some of the images that you see in this book, see, it's planning out the layouts of the building from the street, right? Columns, walls. Not sure. I should have went through these pictures. Okay, look at inside the building. These huge archways, and you see the people there 5, 6 feet tall, and the ceiling is 3 stories high, right? Here's another image, which is pretty interesting. So I took a picture of it. You got a little window, which is not like a glass window. It looks just to be an opening where the street is higher than the floor plan inside, so that you still have privacy. Look at that. Some more pictures of what these structures, these ancient buildings look like. And booyah, here's the reason why the archways would be so tall. See it here. Minimum height 3.5 meters. I should have did the workout to feet, but what is that like? Let me see. So this particular one says minimum height approximately 3.5 meters, which is 12 feet. Which is 12 feet. But this is the reason why. Maximum horizontal and vertical dimensions of a fully loaded, mature Arabian camel. So with a camel, rider, and load is there to accommodate. There could be 12 feet up with a camel, with a rider, and load on top could reach nearly 12 feet, 11 and a half feet. And that's why the columns or the archways needed to have that much clearance so that the rider on his camel can pass through. Now, some of these archways are much taller than that. But why would they need a archways taller than that? Well, you see this painting here? Well, I didn't even notice that. I just went online real quick and downloaded some paintings off of Google Images. And look, you got a more insignia there. But, yeah, this is like Hannibal and Carthage. Let's see if we get some more images. That's India today, going for an elephant ride. And there you go. You got elephants as the cranes. Basically, they're carrying two logs. Elephant carrying two logs with his trunk and tusk, and a rider on top. That could be much higher than a camel, riding a camel. So these buildings, which there's like, oh, well, how did they move these huge stones and these? They must have had giants. Yes, they did have giants. These giants were the beasts. These mastodons could, like the ones I'm showing here, was much smaller than the mastodons that still exist today. There's another painting of what Hannibal Barker. Yeah, I guess that if say these people are 6 feet, the mastodon itself could be 12 feet, and plus you got another 6 feet on top of that. That's 18 feet high. Like I said, these beasts were used for their labor. So they had to fit inside the building. And it'll be easy to fit inside the building and to come out of the building if the archways were taller. Or it could have been a giraffe, which was common in these times to have a giraffe. Look at that. How tall is that? 18 feet, right? So that's just what I wanted to share. It's just, I mean, these are just the basic animals. They could have been larger animals, especially here in the Americas. When you think about the bison, and this could have been other creatures. And so, to accommodate that, you needed these huge archways, these buildings with these large doorways, wide and tall. And how do you get the materials up there? Well, you just put it on the backs of these beasts. These giant beasts. That's all I want to say.